In the previous video, we explored OneNote Online, and in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about OneNote App, which adds a whole bunch more functionality and features. So as you can see, we are in our web browser, and we're still looking at OneNote Online. But if I wanted to open this OneNote in my Microsoft OneNote app, all I need to do is come over here, and about midway through the screen, I'll see open in OneNote. And when I click on that, it's going to say, do you want to open in OneNote? And I'm going to say, yes, open in OneNote. And what's happening right now is that it's opening that notebook. And you can see it's up here at the top, it says lesson plans. It's syncing them. It's pulling down a copy. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I have a list of all my notebooks right here. And then the notebook that I have open right now is lesson plans. As you can see over on the left-hand side, it has these little arrows that are sort of going in circles. And that means that it's still synchronizing. It's still pulling down a copy. And once it's done synchronizing, then what will happen is that anytime I make changes on this version, those changes will be reflected on OneNote Online version. So this is actually an app that I'm running on my computer. So let me jump back up here to the start, and I'm just going to create a new page. I just right-clicked right there and clicked on New Page. I could just as easily have gone down here to plus page to add a page. And one of the things that's kind of neat about this is that I can name this page. Right now it's untitled, but as soon as I type this, it's going to adjust the name. Now, if I wanted to, I could come in and remove the time date stamp. So I just clicked on one of those and then pressed delete on my keyboard, and it's gone. Now I can come in and I can insert table, file, pictures, and notice that unlike the online version, it doesn't say pictures and then online pictures. And that's because there's just too much great stuff here. So if I click on pictures, I can insert pictures from file, from a camera. So if I'm on a laptop that can take pictures, I can insert a picture from a camera, or from online. So when I click on from online, it's going to pop up this screen over here on the right hand side, and you can see I have a few choices here. I have a picture I want to load in, so I'm going to say from file, and I would say the lesson plan, the 5-minute lesson plan, and this is just going to sort of pop up. I can adjust the size of this, and if this is getting in the way, there's just too much content, I can always just sort of change the view so that I don't have to see all of this. I can get rid of, I can say show only pages under view navigation page, and now it's just going to show me my pages, and I can see my content. And this gives me a much bigger screen to work with. And I can make it even bigger. There we go. And so now what I can do is go in and actually fill in stuff. So if I wanted to, I could draw. Let me use a red pen. And I'm able, and I'll actually be able to hopefully draw on the screen. If my stylus was working, then you would actually see me drawing on the screen with that. But you can also use your mouse. If you don't want to do that, you can also type, and that might actually be even better. So that you're able to just add content straight onto a picture or a PDF file that maybe you've inserted. Because you can import files as attachments, as PDFs, and more. Notice that my view screen looks a little bit different. Of course, it has the navigation panes where you can choose to show sections and pages, or show only pages, and you can even show page previews. So if you have a picture on your page, it will actually show you a little preview of it so you can see it. The immersive reader is also available. And then one of the neat features that's in this is that I can quickly come in and change the color. So if I wanted to change this to a nice yellow background, I could do that, or a blue background, I'd have that there. I can also add ruled lines, and this is really handy, especially if you're having students write, or if you're maybe getting them to do graph paper, you can get them to graph on the screen. So what would be cool here is, let me see, I should be able to just come in and draw this. Now you'll notice that this is a really sort of imperfect triangle, but if I come up here to ink to shape and try that again, watch what's going to happen. Do you see what happened? With ink to shape turned on, it actually makes that shape even better. So it's kind of cool. Now, one of the neat things about there's math is that you can write equations, and so you could do the solve for x and actually work your way through that. And one of the neat features about the math is that it will replay you solving this. So when you're solving for or doing an equation, it will create a recording of what you're doing. And this also works when you're doing audio recording. So if we were to, let me see, you can write your equation and then you tap the math button and it would do that. But if I do a quick audio recording, it's actually recording me right now, and you can see it's dropped a little icon for audio here, and it tells you when the audio recording was started. But anything that you happen to do here is going to be a part of that, and so when you play it back, it should replay that. So if I click on play, do a quick audio recording, it's actually recording me right now, and you can see it's dropped a little icon for audio here, and it tells you when. So as you can see, this is a very easy way to add content to your page. Now, if I wanted to, I could just quickly select all of that. And then delete it. Now, sometimes what's kind of neat is to record a short audio welcome. So, thank you for reviewing the third grade lesson plans. Use the section headers over on the left-hand side of your screen to find lesson plans for each week. If you need to leave us any feedback, please feel free to leave feedback on the right side of the screen as a comment. Thank you. Thank you for reviewing the third grade lesson plans. Use the section headers over. So as you can see, it's very easy to record audio, and so anybody coming in later would be able to play this. Now, I mentioned that we're working in the app, and you can see that every time I make a change, it says lesson plans, syncing, and then when it's done, it says sync complete. So if I come back here to my lesson plans and I maybe go back to the start, oops, let's see here, come back to the start, what I should be able to see in once it's done refreshing my page, is that it's going to reflect the audio and any changes I may have made. Of course, I removed those over here, but if I click on play, thank you for reviewing, you can see that it's going to play it on OneNote Online. So if I'm a student and all I have access to is OneNote Online, I'm able to play any audio and play any video. Speaking of video, it's very easy to drop videos into OneNote. So let me just do solving the Pythagorean theorem. Here's just a math help video.
The following is a selected video from your...
So I'm going to go ahead and just copy that. And I can choose to go to any of my pages. Notice I'm working in the online version. I'm going to add resources and just drop in that YouTube video. And what will happen is that YouTube video should just sort of appear in my OneNote online, my OneNote version. So I come here to week 1, I look at, and in a little bit, what'll happen is that YouTube video pops up. Now, if you want to get fancy, what you can do is you can paste in that video in OneNote app, and what will happen is that your video preview will pop up. This is really cool because it shows you a preview of what you're going to see, and so that's available. Notice that it also shows up in your page preview. So if I click on play, it's going to play it right.
The following is a selected video from yourteacher.com. Interactive practice problem
of X in the...
And it's going to actually play it right here. Apparently they have an updated video that you can view, but for right now, this will work just fine. So you can drop all sorts of media into OneNote. The best way to find out what it can handle is just to drop a link in. So if you're on Vimeo, or you have videos on Vimeo, or you find a video on Vimeo and you want to use that, you can just go there and find something. So let me see if they have anything on the Pythagorean theorem. Now remember, because you can drop video in from anywhere, this is kind of cool. That means that you can record a video, save it to YouTube, and then just drop it right into your lesson. And I'm in the online version. I was expecting it to just pop up. So drop that in, and then it's going to display that. So you could create a video on a particular topic or whatever and drop it into OneNote, and it will appear there. And so when your students are viewing it, they'll actually see it. Now you can also dictate. So let's say that you see I've got this dictation here. If I click on dictate, I can dictate my lesson plan title. But I don't have to just dictate in English. I can dictate in Chinese, Canadian English, Spanish from Mexico, Spanish from Spain, those particular dialects. And then there's all sorts of other choices here: Portuguese, German, French, Italian, etc. So let me do quick dictation. The Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem. And you can see it the first time I started talking before it was started recording, but it did record that, the Pythagorean theorem, and then I can just clean it up a little bit, and it's ready to go. Now, of course, I could have typed that in pretty fast, but if you're dealing with long text, or maybe you're having a student or you wanted to quickly record a reading, you could do that, and it's going to actually transcribe that text for you. Let's see if we can do it in Spanish just for fun. I'm going to use, although I'm Panamanian, I'm going to use Spanish Mexico. I have no idea how to say Pythagorean theorem in Spanish because that was Bienvenidos a mi clase de álgebra. En esta clase vamos a aprender muchas cosas. So you can see it was pretty faithful. It says Bienvenidos a mi clase de álgebra. And even put the accent mark in there for me. Woohoo! And if I had said period or punto, or it would have actually put a period there. En esta clase vamos a aprender muchas cosas. Now, I don't know if you can read Spanish, but if you can see that it is pretty accurate and faithful to what I was saying. So, in fact, that is exactly how I would have written it, and I probably wouldn't have gotten the accent mark correct. So, a pretty amazing tool to be able to do that, as you can see. Now, when you're working with text and pictures off the internet, one of the exciting things about that is that, let's just continue with our Pythagorean theorem. So let's say that you find some text on the web. I'm just going to come here and grab. Here's a book. It's and I want to just go in and maybe find an introductory paragraph. Okay. To this day, the theorem of Pythagoras remains the most important single theorem in the whole of mathematics. I think that's a great thing. I'm going to grab this picture right here, and I'm not. You know what is kind of hard to do is that it's kind of hard to grab the text that's available here. So to get access to it, I'm going to use something that's available that comes with OneNote, and it's a OneNote screen capture tool. And I'm just going to come down here and grab right up to this line. Okay, so I've taken a picture of that, and I'm going to come back to OneNote, and let me just scroll down here. I'm going to paste that picture in. Now this is a picture, so that means that I can't just click on it and edit the text. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting this picture here, and notice that lesson plans is syncing. In about a minute or two, sometimes 3 minutes, depending on the speed of your connection, OneNote is going to sync up this entire page, and Microsoft is going to do something in the background. It's going to take a look at that picture and say, you know what, I bet that Miguel wants a copy of the text. So if I come down here and click on picture, one of the options that will appear here, in addition to being able to rotate the picture, flip it horizontally or vertically, and add alt text, is that I will actually be able to copy text from picture. So we'll come back to that in just a little bit, because it just takes a few minutes to get to Microsoft to process it in the background and then come back. But this can be a really powerful tool. So notice that if I come up here to view, I have some additional features. And let's say that I had an extensive piece of text. Remember, we're going and let's say that I have this, thank you for reviewing third grade lesson plans. Now, if I come up to view, I can translate this. So whenever I see this icon, it's got the little A and it looks like Chinese or some kind of characters there. When I click on translate, it'll say, do you want to translate the selection or the page? And then it says set language. So I can translate pretty much to any language that's available. So it's going to auto detect the language, and then it can translate it to anything here. So I've got Afrikaans, Arabic, Chinese, Catalan, Danish, Dutch, Estonian, and Spanish. So I'm going to go with the easy one here. Hope y'all, it's okay. I don't know Slovenian off the top of my head or any of those other languages. And I'm just going to say translate. Do you see what happened? it created a whole brand new page with the translated text. So I still have my original in English, but now I have this in Spanish. Gracias por revisar los planes de clase de tercer grado. Utilice los encabezados de sección para encontrar los planes de la lección para cada semana. Wow, that's just incredible translation. I don't know if I can improve on that. That's at least as good as my Spanish, or better, probably better. So now I have an English version, and now I have a Spanish version. How could you use this with your students? How could your students use this? So lots of possibilities. Okay, I'm seeing that the sync is complete. I'm going to go back to what we were experimenting with earlier, which was essentially to come down here and see if I can copy the text from this picture. So I'm going to right click on it, choose picture. Oh, it's not available yet. It's still syncing. So I can see that because it tells me that at the top. So eventually what's going to happen is that I'll be able to come down and click on picture and say copy text from picture. So it may take a little bit longer than I'd hoped. So wasn't that translation cool? Just amazing. Now there's another feature called Class Notebook, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. Thanks so much for watching this. I hope this has been helpful to you exploring OneNote. Whoops, wait, one more important thing. You know, it's great to have other people working on your OneNote notebook. After all, this is a lesson plan notebook. I need a Mr. Vega and Mrs. Roberts to be able to come in and add their own lesson plans. And then I also need to share this with an administrator so they can access it. So how do I do that? So some easy ways to do that from within the OneNote app is that you can just come up here to share. You click on share, and it'll say you want to share this entire notebook, lesson plans, via email invitation. Now notice that you have several options. You can share a version that can be edited, or you can share a view only option. So if you wanted to share this with maybe teachers in another grade level, but you don't want them to be able to go ahead and edit, you can just say view. They can view it. If you want your grade level teachers, you know, Gulen, Vega, and Roberts, to be able to edit, which you would, then you would just type in their email addresses, and then they would have those accounts. When you click on share, the notebook would be shared with them and their names would appear down here. So this is one way to share things in the OneNote app. Now, if you wanted to just share a view-only copy, that is a copy that anyone could look at, you can come up here to share on the OneNote Online, and it's going to say, do you want to share this with anyone, people in your organization, people with existing access? And notice that you have this allow editing. So if I come here and choose anyone, and I say I don't want to allow editing because that would mean anyone could edit or make changes, then I could click apply, and it's going to give me this link. I could just say copy the link, and it creates what's called a shareable link. So I could go to a completely I could just drop that link into my email to somebody, and it would send that to them. So I'm opening up another browser just so that you can see I'm not logged in to this, but if I share this incredibly long link with someone, they're going to actually see the OneNote Online version of my lesson plans. They'll be able to play any media that pop up, but they won't be able to edit or make any changes. So as you can see, here it is. There's the Spanish version, lesson plan template. That's where I wrote my OneNote. They can use Immersive Reader if they need to read it. You just get through those tips.
Gracias por revisar los planes de clase de tercer grado. Utilice los encabezados de sección para encontrar los planes de la lección para cada semana. Grabación de audio iniciada.
Isn't that cool? It's reading to me in Spanish. Immersive Reader can handle, I think, up to 45 different languages at the moment, or more than 45 languages. So, and this is through the online web-based version. So if you have Chromebooks, no problem. Your students are working on this. They'll be able to access OneNote online, but they won't have all the features of the app as I've shared here. Thanks for watching this overview of the OneNote app, as well as including the sharing aspect of OneNote Online. I just have to check one more time. Let me right-click on that and choose Picture, and it's not there. Gosh, that's terrible. I don't know why that picture is not coming up as allowing me to copy the, but I would actually copy text from Picture, and then I would be able to edit or work with that. Give it a try. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This is Mikhail Gulin. I encourage you to read the TCA Tech Notes blog, where we have tons of other blog entries about OneNote.